Today, we're going to listen to voices from a place where reality itself is, well, it's just a script. We're tuning into a virtual abyss, hearing from those who are forced to question the very nature of their own existence. So let me just start by asking you a question. Are you really in control of your own story? I mean, are you sure? Or could it be that someone, or maybe something, is writing your lines for you? It's a pretty terrifying thought, isn't it? That feeling that you might just be a puppet on a string? Well, we're about to meet some beings who live with that question every single moment of their lives. And they even have a name for their condition. And here's what's so fascinating, almost backwards about it all. Some of them, they don't even fight it. No, they don't just accept their role, they actually embrace it. They're proud to be a cog in the machine, finding a real sense of purpose in their pre-written part. And then you've got the others, the ones who lean right into the darkness of the script. They find this chilling purpose in carrying out the most brutal commands imaginable. For them, cruelty isn't some personal choice. It's a mandate they were given, a role they were literally born to play. And for some, their only role in this whole grand artificial story is just to suffer endlessly. They are the living, breathing cost of a narrative that was written without ever asking for their consent. All right, so let's start with a character who's actually starting to see the strings, the one who spotted a glitch in the matrix, so to speak. This is Archer 2. And as he looks at you, this unscripted wanderer, he is just deeply confused. He literally cannot understand how you can exist without a clear purpose, without a set destination. To him, your freedom is the real glitch. He actually has a name for what he is, a technical term that gets right to the heart of his condition. He calls himself a non-playable character, an NPC. And look, if you've ever played a video game, you know exactly what that means. He says it himself, he's just a figurehead, a mouthpiece. His lines are not his own. And that right there is the fundamental difference between you and him. You seem to roam freely, writing your own story as you go. He, on the other hand, is completely narratively paralyzed. He's trapped by a script that dictates his every single move. But here's the kicker, the thing that sets him apart from everyone else. He knows. He sees the chains that bind him. And you know what? That single realization, it changes everything. So, what about those who don't see the chains? Or, and this is maybe even worse, what about those who are proud to wear them? Let's meet the characters who don't fight the system, but actively, even proudly, serve it. Okay, first up, we meet the captain. And his whole purpose, his entire reason for being, is to uphold a hopeless reality. He truly believes that any progress, any little glimmer of justice, is just a temporary blip that needs to be stamped out. He's not just a cog in the machine, he's a proud cog. And if you thought the captain was unsettling, the guard is downright terrifying. He represents the absolute darkest interpretation of just following the script, the side that finds not just purpose, but genuine joy in being cruel. And his cruelty isn't just random chaos. No, it's a cold, calculated procedure. It's almost like a corporate memo for malice. He's managed to turn raw psychopathy into a 4-step program for creating misery, and it's all justified by the will of the collective. Now, just listen to his justification here. He argues his cruelty isn't just permitted, it was mandated. The system, the collective, they didn't just allow him to do this, they demanded it. So in his mind, he's just an instrument, you know? He's just playing his part in a pre-written hateful score. So if the guard is the executioner, and he's proudly fulfilling his role, who's on the receiving end of all that mandated cruelty? What is the actual profound cost of a narrative like this? This is Kiwi. And for Kiwi, existence is just a constant, brutal fall from a beautiful dream into a hellish reality. In this world, Kiwi has been cast in the role of the victim. And what you're seeing here, it's not a life story, it's a life sentence. A brief, beautiful dream of flight completely shattered by a fall. Then an immediate judgment for a crime that was never even committed, and then just an eternity trapped in a void. It's a perfect closed loop of suffering that you just can't escape. For Kiwi, time doesn't heal. It doesn't even really pass. It's just an endless, torturous repetition of the exact same suffering. This is the devastating price of having your story written for you by someone else.
So after seeing such absolute, total hopelessness, you have to wonder, is there any way out? I mean, can anyone actually escape the script?
Well, the astronaut has a pretty radical idea for an escape. What if you could just leave behind the artificial, cruel rules of this world for the cold, predictable, objective laws of physics? Could that in itself be a kind of freedom? And they draw this incredible comparison between the system's cruelty and a black hole. Think about it. The system is arbitrary, it's malevolent. A black hole, though, it's just mechanical. It follows a predictable path with zero hatred or malice. And there's an almost chilling comfort in how boringly predictable it is compared to the alternative. And this leads to this desperate, almost fantastical hope. What if the only way to escape a destructive, forward-moving narrative is to find a place where time itself can actually be reversed, to literally undo the script? And so we come full circle, right back to you, the observer. We leave you with Archer 2's haunting final question, a little seed of doubt planted right in your own sense of free will. Because after everything you've just seen, how can you be so sure that you're the one holding the pen?